Hello, Mr. Cress. Thank you for your 2 L. reuteri yogurt samples. The French lab successfully got your sample. However, the one that was shipped to the US for precise L. reuteri CFU counts was broken during transport. Please send a new, it's funny. Please send a new sample as soon as you can. We will pay for everything. Okay, so I got this email yesterday, and honestly, I just needed time to process the information because we've done this project and now we're really looking forward to results. And so the French lab that got my other, so I had to send multiple samples because I asked for 3 separate lab analysis reports, and the one that was going to the French lab in Nantes, they did the overall general what is in your lab submitted L. reuteri yogurt, and then the other ones were going to the US for handling of the CFU test. So what are the CFUs in the actual yogurt that I'm sending, and the actual CFU units of total L. reuteri in the jar. And so what this means, well, what does this mean? So technically what this means is that the lab sample and the video evidence that I have of me submitting my L. reuteri yogurt to the Lyon local, so basically there are hubs and they ship them out for specific CFU units. Is it safe for human consumption? Is it is the water drinkable? For all of these specific ones, and they have specialized hubs that distribute them out, and they all have this refrigerated shipping, and it's kind of just this glorified refrigerated post office. And so I went to that lab, and you saw probably in the short video that I posted a while ago of me actually dropping this off, which I did. And the jar that went to Nantes, they got it. And so what's happening is they're gonna send me a report of what's in the fermented L. reuteri yogurt sample. But because the jar, the glass jar and maybe I should have used a plastic one, I don't wanna use plastic because I like to do traditional fermentation techniques, and I'm not really a big fan of modern plastics in food because of microplastics, and the list goes on. But I'm wanting this to be something that can be repeated in a home kitchen. And when you're in a home kitchen, I personally, as I'm making this recipe for everyone and we're planning and we're doing actual lab analysis, I want the refined recipe to be doable through a glass container. So I naturally went towards a glass container. That being said, it makes sense that glass does break in transit, and so maybe I don't really have a choice. And if something is being shipped it's going to Madison, Wisconsin for this specific high-level L. reuteri analysis, it's going to need to be in a plastic jar. Whether I like it being in glass or not, it should be in plastic for the sake of the experiment, which is unfortunate, but kind of is the way it is, and I don't really have a choice about that. But what that does mean is that with this first, so there are actually a bunch of factors that come into play with this, depending on what the results are for the shipment that did go out to the north of France. I will be able to know the general overall structure of what was in that batch of yogurts. And I'll know, was there contamination? Did I get L. reuteri? How well did it ferment? I'll get a preview of what's going on, because regardless, I have to do this. I have to send in a fresh batch, and guys, I'm so sorry. This is out of my control, but I won't have the official full list of results another couple weeks actually, because their processing time is within 14 days of standard receiving. So to catch everyone up, just in case you are new to this, a few weeks ago, I fermented BioGaia gastrus probiotic tabs in pasteurized and cooled down milk, replicating a yogurt-like fermentation method to see if I could successfully cultivate and take a dehydrated, hibernating, dried probiotic and turn it into a live active culture. Can we make a live active culture out of a modern, patented, known to be powerful probiotic? And so I sent in that jar and to this lab through public funding, thank you so much. And one of the jars that I sent in through glass, one of the glass jars that was shipped out was broken. And so now I'm needing to troubleshoot, and I'm considering using plastic jars, even though I don't want to, but for the sake of the experiment, maybe plastic jars would be better for this specific experiment. Some things that, in the background I've been working on for this specific project that I don't feel like I didn't take into consideration, but they were unexpected hoops for me to jump through, was I had to, so I filmed everything to have a video trace of what it is that I've done with timestamps and everything so that it has backing to it. And during the whole thing, I had to go through customs, and I had to, pay extra customs fees, and I had to give the milk, the UHT milk lot number, because it's a biologically sent in food product and it needs to have traceability. So I needed to do that with detailed composition. How much fat was in the milk? How much did I culture how much of a probiotic did I culture into the milk? And they were asking a lot of questions, and so now they also need a container that can survive the trip. And so thank you for being patient with me. And as we move forward, I'll get better at this too. I'm a home fermenter and I've got a background in science, but I've never had to do with these business logistics of working with a professional lab and them sending it, internationally. And so over these next few days, I am going to gather my thoughts, try to get organized. I am technically going to wait for the results from the Nantes laboratory because they're going to give me an overall analysis of what was in my cultured yogurt. I will see if there are any red flags that come up. If there are, I'm going to tweak, and I'm going to tweak the recipe to make sure that it's all good. And who knows? Maybe my biggest goal is that there is L. reuteri in this thing. Who knows? We shall see. And that will go out, I'll share those results with you guys. But in any case, regardless of what those results are, I do have to make a full another batch. And so maybe it's good news because, if I get a result that I don't want, I can troubleshoot and redo the recipe in a different way if need be. If not, I'll just redo the exact same thing that I did last time and we'll be all good. I do want to thank you guys for being patient with this. I'm as impatient as you are for these results. And I guess this just comes with the territory of rigorous lab testing and seeing what happens. And I'm not sure what the results will be, but I guess stay tuned and we shall see. I want to thank you so much for watching this video. My name is Matthew Cress of Cress Dietetics, and stay tuned for the next one in this series where I go over the results of which microbes are in my L. reuteri first fermentation batch of yogurt. The CFUs will be coming in a future video. The next one is just what are the populations found and in what type of percentage. So no CFU numbers, but the percentage division of what's found. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.